Man, that was pretty good. How are you doing, everyone? It's me, TheDomotaku. Welcome back to more of the fall 2019 anime first impression review thing. I was about to say reaction again. It's not a reaction. I know what reaction is. Anyways, today we are talking about Azur Lane. This was an anime I did not expect to exist at all, because I don't know how old the game is, but yeah, let me give you some backstory. Okay, so I am an Azur Lane player, and when I started the game, I didn't start at the very beginning of release of the game. I started when they did the Neptunia collab, and I was in the game for mostly, you know, ship waifus. And along the way, I might have skipped some of the story. You can totally bash me in the comments, guys, if you guys understand the story and everything makes sense to you. But I kind of skimmed the story a lot. Like I said, I was in it for the gameplay and the waifus. But after watching this first episode, I must say, I am very impressed with everything in this episode. So, for the same thing as Fate, for this video, I'm going to be talking about this from this perspective of someone who's played the actual Azur Lane game to an extent. I have a good sense of most of the characters that I saw in this first episode and all the ships and stuff. Not the story though, that's where I come in, and that's where you guys come in the comments. But overall, my first impressions of the Azur Lane, the animation, was quite impressive, I must say. So I had very low expectations, considering I didn't know what the hell the story was about. All I knew was that, like, from the general sense of the game, is that you play as, you know, the commander, you command Azur Lane, and then you fight these evil ships that one day appeared, and you have this united, like, army to combat the sirens, and that was it. And I'm just like, okay, that seems pretty, you know, reminds me of another certain anime, Cardfight collection. But I really enjoyed it. And when I saw in this episode, they gave a whole lot of, like, you know, like, backstory and everything. So, like, same thing. You have everyone fighting each other in war and stuff, and all of a sudden the sirens appear from another world, and then they create Azur Lane, which is, like, the whole united front of so the Royal Navy, the Eagle Union, and then the Sakura Empire, and then the Iron Blood something. And these four things banded together to fight the what do you call it, the sirens. But now you have a split faction between the two, with the Royal Union and the Eagles. So the Royals, the Eagles against the Sakura and the Iron Blood, because they have different philosophies of, like, tech and stuff like that. Like the Royals and the Navy, or was it the Royals and the Eagles, want to use, like, human-made weapons, like, to combat the sirens, and then the Sakura and the Iron Blood want to use, like, the siren weapons, like the enemy weapons from the another world, to combat them. And they're just fighting each other, which I was just like, wait, so you have this enemy that comes from another world to attack you guys. You guys assemble this, you know, united team to fight them, but then now they're just fighting against each other, which is just like, oh shit, that's not bad. If I skip this in the story mode, I super apologize, because I'm somewhat invested in this anime. And every single time in the show, like, literally, like, when a ship girl appeared, I'm just like, I know who that is. I know who that is. I have you, my dog. I have you, my dog. You're my first ship, and she's my first 5-star. I don't remember the rating system in the game. But there's just so much, like they crammed a lot of stuff in here, but I think it works to an extent. So how does the plot go? Let's see. So we get, like, the arrival of, I don't remember every single ship, so I'm sorry if I butcher names or don't remember who they are. But essentially, you have the Royals and the Eagles going to the Azur Lane base to, like, you know, do some kind of command meeting or something, I guess. And then they're waiting for the Iron Blood, but then they get attacked by the Sakura Empire, who announces that they're going to war with them. The Iron Blood and the Sakuras against the Royals and the Eagles. And then in here, we also have some kind of side thing with the characters. This is the very interesting part, in my personal opinion, where you have, like, some of the new ships, they're not new, but you have some of the ships, like, having this little time where they're getting to know a certain ship. So you may know as Javelin, Laffy, and Unicorn, those 3 ships. I have those 3 ships, so I know their names to heart. I'm a gamer, I swear. And they encountered Ayanami, who I just recently got, and they're just talking to her, being friends with her, and showing, like, you know, kindness and stuff like that. But then they turn out to be enemies, And this is like this side plot that I'm just like kind of somewhat interested about and how they'll develop it, because I don't know if that's the thing in the game. It might be a side story in the game. I don't know if there's like interludes or something like that in the game, or like, you know, character specific story things like you can look into the game. I have stopped playing for a while, guys. I'm sorry. You can bash me in the comments, like I said, but I found that quite interesting for the premise for this whole this whole animation, because in the opening I could have sworn that you have those three fighting. So you have Laffy, Unicorn, not Unicorn, Laffy, Javelin, and what's her name, Ayanami, like fighting together or like something like that. And like in the ending, you have them all sitting like this dining table together, united and stuff. So I don't know if this is gonna be like a chapter in the game per se. That's gonna be like the ending, like, you know, in the end, they'll all like unite again and sort of form another alliance with each other and come to terms. You can maybe spoil that if it's in the game or not. But yeah, feel free, if you guys play the game and you know what the hell's going on in the story of the game, and this is totally diverging from the story of the game, then feel free to let me know, because I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Overall, I enjoyed it because I understood every single character to an extent, and I'm just like, I know who you are, I know who you are, I know who you are. And the action, ooh, I gotta say, the action was quite... It kind of reminds me of Content Collection, because I saw that first, but I mean, it wasn't overall too bad, I must say. I really enjoyed it, and I was trying to see how they translated game mechanics into the animation, because I did that same thing for Fate, right? I explored everything. In here, I was quite surprised to see some things. So apparently you have the ships, you know, like the characters and the girls like in their Azur Lane base, and then when they're like going to combat, they have the actual physical ships there on the docks and stuff, and then they turn into those wisdom cubes. I forget what the blue cubes are called, my bad guys, you can totally flame me in the comments. But you have them, so the ships turn to cubes which materialize onto the girls as the actual ship weapons and stuff, and I'm just like, okay, that makes total sense. I don't question it, because those damn cubes, man, I could swear. And kind of helps that you have all the ships there, and you don't have to spend any wisdom cubes. Game, just saying. What else is there? Yeah, you see a bunch of ships, and not all of them talk, but you still see them, which I would imagine be the hard part of this anime, is to have certain ships come in and certain ships have interactions and dialogue into the story and whatnot, because there's a bunch of them that like sort of come in frame. It looks like they're talking with like, I don't know, Laffy and the crew and stuff, and then they're not, which would be like the hard part, because it's like freaking 300 plus ships in the game to my extent, because my dock is full. What else? I didn't notice any sort of soundtrack from the game, to my memory at least. It's been a while since I played the game, because I just really don't touch it too much. I'm more, you know, dedicating to Fate, sorry. What else? Anything else about this episode that stood out to me so far? Overall, as an adaptation, like this, like Fate, I had like somewhat of an expectation, but then this one I had very low expectation, because I'm a bad person. I skipped the story to an extent, and even though I know all the characters, I don't know the lore to an extent of this whole universe, and I'm sort of understanding that now, and I'm really digging it. So feel free to flame me in the comments, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's about it. But overall, like I said, I was trying to see how the game translates into an animation sense, and overall it looks pretty good. Even when Unicorn and Enterprise stepped in, that was pretty cool. How like you just see the planes like materialize on their little, like, what do we call it? Their like their weapons, or like, I don't know how you call them, their projected weapons on their like their body and stuff. And then you see, like, you know, torpedoes and stuff like that. You have like the airstrikes and the... So yeah, you see the torpedoes in the water and stuff. You have all the airstrikes and stuff and everything. All the gameplay in like the, you know, the side scroller kind of stuff kind of honestly translated very well in the anime. I must say. Well, at least from what I don't have the whole main story also completed at all. Or I'm not up to date with anything in the main story. I do some of the events and I understand some things. And some of the Sakura ships, I totally forgot their names, but I remember when they said their names was like Kaga and Was it Akatsuki? I have no clue. I'm sorry, I'm flaming so many people right now. But honestly, when I saw like how they were fighting Kaga, right, and then she all of a sudden materializes this giant white wolf thing, and then the planes start shooting off from that wolf, and I'm just like, okay, this is not a game. Like, this is not like game elements. This is just anime stuff. But I mean, I dig it. It's whatever. I don't really know too much about lore or history of anything of the skills in the game from these characters. I actually don't have Akatsuki, or was it Kaga the white one? I don't have Kaga in the game. So anything that she did, like in the thing with like he had these like flaming blue fireballs or summoning a giant white wolf, I'm just like, okay, I buy that to an extent, And when they're doing combat, they might do some CGI there and there, but I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It's okay. Enterprise takes the show though. I dig Enterprise. That was like my first SSR. I don't know the rating system, but I just like my first like great aircraft carrier, and I like the fact how they label her as the strongest Eagle. Is it the Eagle? Yeah, she's the Eagle. Eagle aircraft carrier, because I think she is technically, from my gameplay standpoint of view, because whenever I use any like aircraft, I always use Enterprise. She's like my best, and her freaking SSR stats support that stuff. So I like how they really do that in the anime. They actually give like the ratings of the ships in the game translate to like the anime. Maybe like Unicorn was a support, like I don't know, like well, Unicorn does healing in the game too. I don't know if they did that or not. But like, you have Prince of Wales, and then you have like all the high-ranking people like Illustrious and stuff, and like we haven't seen everyone else yet, but Enterprise is the strongest, and she's like a gold star or gold ship girl character in the game, so she's the strongest Eagle whatever thing in the anime. That makes so much sense to me. Cleveland, I forget exactly what star she is. She's a 2-star or something like that. I don't remember. But I mean, it was cool seeing all these other ships that I never really use in battle and having them like, do actual interactions and talking and stuff. So that's cool. Honestly, Azur Lane, the animation, pretty good so far. If you guys have not played the game and you're watching this for the first time, please feel free to let me know how you feel about this anime, because I'm quite curious to know how you would watch this anime, the first episode, and just be like, okay, here's a bunch of all these ship characters that you might probably know or you might not know, and I'm just like, yeah. To an extent, it's probably better. Well, as someone who's played the game, I understand a lot more of every single person in this anime, like I said. But I mean, technically, in a sense, you can still watch this episode and never have played the game and sort of understand the whole lore and stuff. You just might not know every single ship girl, and that's about it. That's all you're missing if you never played the game so far. Yeah, overall, I'm kind of excited to see how this anime turns out. We have 12 episodes, unfortunately pretty short, pretty standard for a seasonal anime. But I mean, if we get some more lore bits and stuff, we'll see how it is. Really let me know in the comments if this is like anime original or this is like exactly from the game, because I'm very curious to know how this whole animation thing fares to the game, because like I said, flame me in the comments. I skimmed the story. I sort of vaguely don't know if this is like how this is going in the game or not. I might have to go back in the game and relook some things, but overall, it was great. I really like Azur Lane, and well, I liked Azur Lane. I may have stopped playing it and neglecting it for Fate, but this anime honestly makes me want to play more. And Laffy, best ship girl, because she's the best first ship girl starter thing. I don't know exactly. Laffy was my first starter, so ship. And then when I saw her in the anime, I was like, yes, Laffy all the way. Okay, anyways, that's it for the Azur Lane episode 1 impressions. So I'll see you guys for episode 2 in the future, maybe in a podcast or in a single video like this. I don't know exactly how long. This has been 15 minutes. Wow, longer than Fate. Anyways, see you guys later. Take care, guys. Matane.